Good morning, folks. It's 6:59 a.m. on the 10th day, first month, 2023. As I adjust the monitor, which looks in a very bad angle to go off the table. Excuse me, what? Right. What I'm looking at here is part of the coming to shores of the proper storm that's impacted New Zealand, and the center has not impacted yet. And what you're picking up now is a lot of the sideband being pulled in straight up and over. And man, it's a bad day for you guys because when it pinches the winds coming around this corner, it increases their velocity. And it makes it very rough out here. And White Island seems to be okay. See right there? I've been looking at some of your webcams, and I'll show you some of them now. And I'm out here in this area here. And you go, it says. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have fun. Hey, ruin your caca beach where the weather is like a caca. Right, right. So let's have a look at some of your tides that we could see. This is the signs of people that don't understand that storms coming have terrible, terrible undertows, and it can kill you. Right? To death. This is a very dangerous one. Don't let this surf fool you. It looks like the tide's not quite high right now. As some of the ones from earlier, when the high tide was ashore, you can see where this boat is. You'll expect that water to be much higher as this storm comes in proper, and the low brings the bubble of water being held up in it. Like a straw, when you put you can put your finger over a straw and pull it out of a glass, and it has a little bubble of water left in the bottom. Well, a low pressure will do the same thing. It holds that little bubble, it holds it over the top of the ocean, and it brings it ashore with it. And if that happens at high tide, it makes situations of storm surges much worse. Those look like professionals down there. Wow, you don't risk their lives today, please. Right? You can hunker down. The wind's going to be roaring, and you can handle it. Imagine what it would have been like for your ancestors. And they didn't have no weather reports, no warning at all. Oh, wait a minute. You guys didn't get enough warning, did you? Which beach am I at here? Right, this one here is wow, look at the surf rolling in here. Yeah, it's pounding in now. I'm doing this so you guys understand. What does it look like down there? You can find out on Windy, okay? You can find out all by yourself. That is rough surf. You don't see no beach, do you? You know, there's land there. Oh, this must be a camera that moves, because it has a different view. Up your coast, look at these rollers coming in. The seas are very, very heavy. New Zealand, be careful. Don't do the... But it's dramatic. And these are off your webcams. Anybody could look at these. I think it's important that we do. You know, I'll just go... Here you go. I might be tempting some people. Well, you know, if that's your style of life, of living on the edge of adventure, we all have our ways of living on the edge. I think I live on the edge too. See this roller coming in? This very, very dangerous surf. If you get caught out in here, the likelihood of you dying is very, very high. But look at these rollers, man. Look at this surf. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Come on, man. If I can't point out the fun, the geoengineers are trying to take all our fun days away. So this is a kind of just a look up your coastline. And I do look at these things. What's your traffic conditions? What's it look like looking in toward Auckland? What's it look like toward these islands? You know, if you're tempted, it's still not rolling over the seawall, which is great. The direction the wind's rolling, that's unlikely until this slams ashore and the wind shifts directions as it passes over. If you're lucky, it doesn't change directions. Over here is very, very bad day for you guys. Very, very, very bad time. This is how much every 3 hours is going to be falling. That's what they say. And I'm not always agreeing with that. Because I have to go here to see where the water is and how much is there. See that beam redirected? Right here, filing in. And yeah, that one I said was a super high risk for earthquake through here. She kicked a really high one yesterday, and very, very bad one. It was felt all the way into Darwin. I told you, I have a different way of looking at Earth systems, and it yields very accurate forecasts of weather and earthquakes too. I don't agree with continental drift. I think that EMF could cause earthquakes as well. Get my drift? And when they add this second beam here to the top, it comes down from up here. See? That interfered with one that came down here. You set up a really bad reverb through this area here, and it did hit a very large quake. Right, you see the beam come through, and it's also directing your moisture. You had another one come through here all the way up, directing the moisture towards making a corridor here, which means that backs that up a little bit in here and allows this sock here to start dumping its load. So you're in for a rough day, and there's a very heavy amount of water right here. If it was to all rain down at once, look where it is and what's in the weather plan. So this whole tendril from here, right from here over, is coming to Australia. And from here it gets drawn into here, and they'll squeeze it. They might do a move because it's pointed the V here, where the EMF beam comes in and inverts the sock, so the flow starts going into this one. If they continue to make it a V like that, this cut here will actually shoot moisture up and over the top of that as it'll make a clearing in the clouds. So the moisture here is going to go somewhere, and they've done a cut right here above Vanuatu. And a beam over here, which sets up a reverb here for Tonga and Fiji. Fiji's beaming into that toward Tonga, increasing Tonga's earthquake risk. Now, you want me to go through these like that? I will. I'll be happy to show you what I think about. I'd have to in person show you what I think the Pacific Plate is. Only in person, or where I could show with my hands and describe, I could do this. And I could do it in person to hundreds of people. It's easy to do because it yields very accurate forecast. Yeah, I called out that one actually that hit south of Istanbul, that island. I told John Sal about that one. Probably a week or two before it hit. I said all the reverb is set up. Looks like that one island's going to go. They're going to trigger that fault because they'd had a big one, and it was a 7 near there. So watch yourselves out there today, okay? Your earthquake risk is still high while the storm is pushing a lot of weight on it, but I don't see a White Island even burping. That's why I watched that camera. See, the V starts from here and here. It's not just an image splice, because it interferes with the weather. It influences things. So I do think that Papua's earthquake was caused by electromagnetic frequency or a geoengineering method. Sheesh, they're bringing a lot of water into you guys in Queensland. Right, now let's go roll on to a forecasty thing. I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to leave it up. We'll just put on the obvious one. Screenshot that. Surprised you going live quick, didn't I? Am I rolling? Yes. I like surprising you. So right, New Zealand. Here's the storm. The low is off your coast. All right, I took a look at some of your surf conditions, and I hope I convinced you it's not the best day for you to go out there. I'm going to leave off that now. It's just going to wind you up. Maybe you'll feel less how do I say it, stressed. If I show it to you without all the winds blowing. All right, here's the projected paths of this storm. Up and over goes the low. It's going to hit a wall of pressure out in the Tasman Sea, bounce off it, and come back in, right across the country. And it has plenty of stuff when it comes in to feed it. Or a vortex here could set up the secondary low. And here she comes across, and she's dumping a lot of water as she goes. Right, your 24-hour totals even for today. And it's most important. Let's just face the one day we're at right now, is to say you're pretty high in these corner regions that I told you about. You can even see now this stream here is pretty high, but it's not up to its top marks yet. But I guarantee you're going to see it. You're going to see it. So this gives you an idea of the river. So you can come on here and look. You don't have to risk. Let's go down there to have a look. To come here and have a look. Don't worry, I haven't said those words where I go, oh my God, your bridge is gone. Not yet. But if it rained for 4 days at that total, your bridge is gone. It just couldn't handle it. As it has to, here's the problem, right? When you get water draining from a mountain into an ocean, right? It has to be able to get out. If there's a tide coming in and a storm surge coming in, it backs these waters up through here. And then these areas flood because there's nowhere for this water, which is going to come, to go. And that's the problem with these big storms, is that storm surge coming in and blocking the water from coming out. It has to find another place out. It does. Water seeks entropy. You say seeks its own level. I say it seeks entropy. I look at water different. Just like everything does. Everything eventually settles. Right, yeah, that's it's going to be wicked over here. You guys got some problems as that water runs through over the next 24 hours. Yeah, this is imminent. Over the 3 days, the whammo. It's pretty much the events gone by, according to looking statistically at the numbers. But is there something else coming? Let's look. I'm going to turn that off. It's distracting me. It tempts me to look at it. Yeah, but why not? That island out there off your coast is getting it. According to this, they're sending it all over in a day. Yeah, in and out in a day, according to ECMF. Access is a bit different. You're getting a bath. Oh, thank God it isn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. Thank God. If this one stalls. Ah, yeah, they trucked it off. And that's good for you and bad for you. They had to make a trough here to bring that in. It's bad for you, good for you. One country says yes to an agreement, and maybe they let the system go. What's your totals going to be then? All right, let's have a look. Everybody's. I want this to be positive. Stay away from the coastlines up here. Your earthquake risk is supremely high. Look, the winds out here. All these isobars look very, very close together. They're all going so long. It's really long shared pressure motion. It really could whip them winds up because they're all turning in the same direction. Everybody, it's like rowing in the same direction. This thing's going to move along. This whole river around Antarctica that goes around its continental edge of the ocean, its boundary, is you hear how I did that? Is awful linked together. It's very, very odd to see such a situation like this in the summertime. It's just global weirding. It's so weird to watch the weather these days. So let's look at a bit of the Chembombs feeding this storm. And why do I say that? Because I see Chembombs feeding this storm. See if we can get a little bit of it anyhow. They don't do you justice here anymore. Tell them to take the date line as a factor of where you show a map, and that would be great. Time is a man-made construct. One that has no watch, but it always knows what time it is. Boom, 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 going to plumes over here. Some chemtrails rolling in, rolling chem, staying in place. A cascade of toxicity over the ocean. Boom, boom, plumes on the right and the left. Yeah. Here's your future leaving for your children right off your coast. Have it. And while I'm doing that, hey, you guys in Australia, do your looking over here. Because they ain't coming back. All these Chembombs over here going over. Sustaining the ability of this storm to circulate. As it comes over the top of the island, it should have destroyed it. But no. The face of your Winua saying, stop geoengineering. Stop it. I'm sure they got better words for it than that. As this cascading streamer of looks like something came along in a line, deployed something in the atmosphere of various deployments of payloads, because somebody's getting paid to do this. The chemical companies must be making a fortune. They don't even let us know which one it is. That's a private investment, isn't it? Well, if you buy in this, you're going to get in on the blah blah when we poison the rest of the planet. You want in? That kind of conversations that happen at parties and dinners and toilet stalls. dumbs. The dumb people, so to speak. So Woody Woodpecker. My goodness, look what they can do now with the chem. They're running really good with it. This method here is very, what's the word for it? Efficient. Yeah, detoxifying and depopulating and making it so you've got coughs and colds and your general lifestyle is just non-living, just existing. The existence of the 2020s. They had the roaring 20s back in the 1900s, and the 2020s is quite the opposite. And not enough people roaring about the toxifying of the skies, even when confronted with obvious proof that there's fireworks being deployed and it's not a national holiday. There's no grandstand out here to watch it, and the death toll is a death knell going unnoticed, unseen, unrecorded of animals laying on the ocean floor, being covered by silts and dust of floods. You'll never see it. What a fucking shame. Right. Salt Island, you got a huge amount of chemtrails and bombs going off over the fjord lands where protected animals and areas are, where the toxifying of the ice itself is going on, of glaciers that are still growing, and some that have pieces falling on, are bringing this ice into the world. And it's not like it's the pure ice. That's way deep, that's coming in and melting, going, yay, that stuff didn't have us doing that to it. Right? Every time I see a piece of ice cube break off a glacier, I'm happy. There's clean water going into my ocean. I ain't too sad about that. I'm more sad about watching this floodwaters dragging in a bunch of crap with plastic bags and streaming down from everybody's towns that lack of give a shit ended up putting there, you know? Not putting important things like they're important, and the animals don't need your plastic bag. And those wash out. Bottles wash out to sea. Pesticides off your lines washing out to sea. Farmlands washing out to sea. Your pee that you peed on the freaking ground, it gets soaked out and washes out to sea. And if you've had infections or been taking pharmaceutical medications, now the fish are taking it. Or your animal walking around in the floodwaters might be allergic to some of that. Now it's taking it. Be careful walking your animals out there. I'm fucking telling you. You're seeing some strange algae growing in some ponds and stuff, and it's in the muds as well from so many floods, never drying out. Things are growing. I'm not saying it was put there by man or in a nefarious way, and I'm not saying it wasn't. All I'm saying it's there. Be careful. I love your animals, but even though I ain't met them yet, right? I may not love them so much after I do. Some of them, when I see them chasing birds around a park, I'm not as overjoyed as their owner. He's just playing. Okay, well, I'm not playing. I'm here to feed that bird. Yeah, I don't like that too much in a public park. They should give them good dog parks to run in. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think it's wonderful. Animals have a free run area. I'm drinking coffee as the campaign continue all over New Zealand. They rocking you over here. Look at Christchurch. That's Chicha. Beaming? Beam much? Right. Forecast. As we continue with your days. On your 10th, you must have signed a new agreement because the fuckery is here. The fuckery is here. Okay, just to give you a hint. So I'm going to continue with NZ for now and keep your eyeballs down here. Yes, you saw a large amount of water appear on your weather plan. It says these pressure maps, as this fucks off, you should end up with a bit of a clear out, which will be nice to see. I don't see how you can get much showers after that, because they took this tendril and decided to move it around. It's actually headed this way. There's actually enough dynamics here to hold this north, get this spinning again in the opposite direction to bring this back around like a cyclone, and some of the steering winds could actually take it back in here. I see one scenario that's very, very, very possible. Because this is going to vortice, that's going to vortice. Fiji's going to get a wind that creates a curl. It's very possible that's going to turn into something that looks dangerous. I use those words looks. But meanwhile, the rest of this moisture here, from about here over, is coming definitely to Queensland from that line. And whether they bring a second batch behind it, I can't quite tell. It's not bunched up out yet. These islands, the Solomon Island, the vortexes will, or inflows and outflows, will cut this storm into the desired ways by making winds cause various Venturi effects by causing upflows, downflows in between these islands. Yeah, turbulent flow, disturbing lateral flow causes predictable motions and sometimes. But there's always a chaotic edge of not knowing how everything's going to go. You don't know that there might be a huge wave 100 feet in the air curling across the ocean and you don't know it. And when it comes over, it's definitely going to disturb the mass of air. So the computers have to read all the particles in the atmosphere all the time through various sensors to know about these little disturbances. So let's say I have an Aether device and I'm located here. And I point it out here to affect the weather. It'll make an effect on the weather. The computer adjusts and sees that conditional change, and the Chembombs on top of you. Hey, Rod, you know that for a fact. There you go. I did it, I cleared it. Whammo. The line of this storm is really right about here. The chem clearly showed that was going to happen. I'll keep continuing back to you, New Zealand. I think you pretty much know what 24 hours is and it's going out to sea. Watch those webcams. Watch your safeties. And you get some really good weather reporters there. Listen to them. The ones that are not in the news. Something bombed over here on the low deck near Hermansville. See it right here? It's obvious. It's a low-level deployment. So I'm going to roll that for a minute. Sip off my coffee for a minute. See if anybody's even commented. I told you I came on by surprise. No warning. Nobody even knew I was up. Yep, good afternoon, everybody. Hey, I swear each country is now fighting for water, trying to steer the rain with weather miles. A water theft isn't just being stolen by a corporation owns water rights. Yes, sir, that's sold corporately. Yeah, I think Nestle, through various other names, has bought up most of the water rights around the world, and a Chinese company owns another one. Water's the new gold. And to move it around in the air, I often wonder, like I said yesterday, if there's private meetings negotiating who gets this rain, who gets that as we move it into coffers, and are any of the tunnels underground being filled with good water, so that if there was a severe drought across the planet that wipes out all the crops, that other people still benefit from these past storms. I wonder these things. It's a scary time coming, as it seems like the plagues of Joseph are showing up, and Moses, and all of them. And all of us that have been told that it's coming, nobody listens to them. We're not enough. But that's how it goes. Some people's plan is that I don't have to prepare. I'm going to take what you have. Let you just sit and lift weights. Yeah, you ever thought of that? If you were here, right, and all your supplies were here, if shit hit the fan, how are you going to get to your supplies ever? Right? Do you even have a little bug-out bag in your car? Could you survive 24 hours in your car out here where there's no water or anything? Then don't go there. One of them silver blankets could save your life too, not just from the cold, but from reflecting sunlight. I just got to say that, but you ain't getting too much sunlight over here today. As they bombing up the microwaves and bombing up the storms and creating the funnel that's about to bathe Queensland in a geoengineered weather event. As the bombs over here to the west of the long-reaching radar, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 curved bomb lines. Definitely a center of deployment here. And who knows what they could put something out. It's got a timer, put something else out. Pow! When it gets down to here from burning, pow! Shoots another Roman candle out. It's very possible to do. I do think about Roman candles because I see them in the hands of people that are loading the things on the plane that they do shows about cloud seeding, and I see flares. But this is higher up than what's down here. This is meant to interact with the microwaves and convections and be stirred in. To do what? Well, that's what we'll answer. We all deserve an honest one, too, I often say, if you were thinking that. We got to confront this. The first thing we got to do is tell the big oneness this is wrong. You can't be sold this on a commercial and think, yay, that's what we need. And then the big oneness here is, okay, I'll give it to them. No, no, no. Everybody must think this is wrong. Because I think it's wrong. And you will think it's wrong if you study this as long as I have. In depth, every day, all the time, in front of your computer, looking, documenting. That's right, documenting. That's what science is. You don't have to go to a university if you find science fulfilling. And you don't have to have a degree to prove you're right. You know what you got to have? You just got to have the curiosity for the world. And if you want to know things, the universe will know it through your ears and eyes and experiencing itself. Because don't they say God is everywhere? Right? I don't have to walk into a building to have it. But when I see a straight line of chem like this, and I see straight lines of storms predicted before, I know there's a fuckery afoot. Right? I know there's a conspiracy going on. Some people are conspiring to do this to you. And convincing you they want it. Because money convinces. Now you say all these politicians are clowns and jokes. Well, look at their bank balances going into office and coming out. From the very first time they went into office and coming out. And look at your bank balance from the very first day they came into office to the day they came out. And see who benefited from their reigns. Yeah. And they never leave office if they're making enough money. Because the voting machines are all bought and accounted. And somebody put a love heart in the sky. I ain't loving this too much. As the Chembombs proceed over the country here, falling out on people. It's not the healthiest stuff for people that need clean air to breathe, or animals that need clean air to breathe. You got dogs out there wheezing with asthmas from the fallout, and they're sniffing the soils when they go outside in the dew and the water, and they're getting direct contact with this more than you are. And I've seen the lesions and cancers on the feet and noses of the dogs around the planet. And I think that's the cause. And it's not just one country. I can't always blame glyphosate for this. Because there's places that are in the wild, people never take them to the verges. They're in organic forests, and it's still happening. So that's telling me it's coming from somewhere else. There's some molds or something growing. And it's causing these cancerous lesions that are known as cancers. Cancer is a fungus and molds and parasites misdiagnosed because somebody makes too much money off of toxic chemotherapy. It burns your body. That's why I chose not to go that route. I would rather die. Or cure it with something from Mother Nature, and I will succeed. It's what I do. I try. If I believe something, until I succeed, there is no fail. Trying is doing, okay? Thinking is thinking. If you're thinking, your butt is stinking. Study long, study wrong. As for the card game of life, roll the dice, man. Fuck the game of cards. Right, as we look in a lot of microwave action going on, and I'll be zipping back around the country. But right now, the adjective my biggest worries now is this corridor through here, where the squares of chem are now telling you and setting up that sock look, or the funnel of the cornucopia is being set up. There's a lot of moisture in the soils around here in the air that can then be picked up, right? Because you are saturated still in some areas. Right, your soil moisture right now is very high through here, so all this moisture can now be wicked out of the soils, right, by pressure movement, desiccant deployments, and wind itself, right? And there's a lot of dry air here to do it, right? Moist flows toward dry. Okay, so it creates a predictable wind pattern. That's a fact. Write that down. That's science. So you keep that in your head. It's pressure movement. You got to think. Moist has more molecules than dry. They're bigger. It took up more area. So if that's not there, the pressure is less. So water seeks entropy. It wants to balance with itself. So it will go towards the one that has less of itself. There's too much in this crowd. You're ready to go over here and relax now. The conscious too packed in up here. And I'm trying to find different ways to describe things to people. So it's very, very heavy soil saturated. Surprisingly, can you believe that this area here, you have all these rains, has nearly no. It's dry soil. The soil moisture is very low. How much water soaked into those trees that blew down? Or did it all go around their bark? Think of these things. I don't think it's had time to soak in. You got piles and piles of that look like beaver dams all through your woods. And those are going to make roaring campfires. You get one numbnut from our oppressors walking through with a lighter. Hey, you guys are in a big world of hurt. And I'm very worried about this now. I keep dreaming it. I keep dreaming a wall of fire. I keep seeing you guys. It's bothering me. You better be. When I keep dreaming something, it happens. Okay, you guys are wet. Ain't no doubt about that. But how long it talk before they dry you out? How long does it take to dry out the soils? You guys you're getting some rains along the way. It don't take long. So you guys are staying moist. So your fire risk is very low. Your fire risk is high. Very high. It is. I'll have to agree with it. That's just the moisture. You also have to look at humidity. Humidity will interfere with will kind of give you an idea how much water is being pulled out or coming in. How much moisture is there? So humidity today is it's mostly in a corridor. It's very dry here. And these will be important, these humidity lines to storm formation. Tells you kind of what are. Look, you get like a star pointing at Alice Springs over here of all this dry moisture. So it's wicking into the center of a circulation here. So it's finding the center of the dries and going in toward them. That's creating some strange eddies. That'd be a good day to be out there in a glider. Yeah, some of these areas to get some films. The drones will be out here today. People with drones getting pictures because crushing some of these roads is non-existent. Really. Monster truck rally. You need one of them to get over some of those potholes that they've got going on out here. And this is just humidity that I'm looking at here. As I go to the rain and thunder rumblers for today, I'll roll it like this. I've already showed you down there, Tazzy. You've been shown. Big line of storm. So we'll look for the chem that laid that out a little later today. It looks like that corridor of EMF here is starting to channel moisture in because it created a wall of hot air here of energy that's going to have molecules jumping straight up and down, boom, 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 in place. So that when it hits that wall, it has to go somewhere else. Lightning, thunder, and that's heavy rain, but not super duper pooper scoopers. So you're going through today with big rumblers, and the object of the main dissings of ease is across the center around a Mutabura. See what you're getting? You're getting geoslammed, man. The suplex. And now with a chembomb off the top rope. Oppressor Gates, oh no. Oh no, then here comes the people's elbow and takes it all back. The Rock says, you gotta be a rock in times of hardness. And when you come out, you might crack some edges. Life will smooth them out. But when you see a straight line like that, predicted for Tuesday, which will be, it'll be very late at night. 11 o'clock at night on the 12th for some of you through here. It'll be the Friday the 13th for other. You're going to have a big beam line and a chem line laid. It has to happen. You will not make that storm any other way. You will have a big beam. And if they use a big beam across the whole top, it changes the whole dynamics of the tropics and brings it right back down on top of you again. Fiji, you're getting a big belting here. Look. But yeah, I told you that days ago. I told you to batten down the hatches, and your totals are going to be quite high on the 24s. And you're right on the date line. They don't like to give it as you go in through the week. You must be defending yourself. It's like the storm comes over, and here it stops. So the weather plan has Fiji manipulating the river of moisture again and backing that up. Excuse me. Whoa, what was that? I'm not feeling chirpy, but I'm here. Right. I got the sack pointed their way, though. See that inverted moisture there? It tells you flow. Now, if I hit the beam here, it'll shove that together, bunch it up, and start it to turn. Yeah, if I was a geoengineer, I could fuck your world up, because I understand how to do it. But I'm not, so I don't. And I wouldn't, because I'm here to unfuck my world, not fuck it up. There's enough of that going on. Right? Remember that. You're not here to fuck up this world. You're here to fix it. You're here to show this next generation what to do and where to go. You must be the way shower. Take that to heart. Take that to heart. And if you're a parent, your biggest job on this planet is to leave conscientious human beings behind. And don't take the heat of this. You don't ignore your kid on the phone, showing attention to the rest of the world while you're neglecting a child that needs to know it's going to be nurtured and it knows how to nurture later on. Don't leave a broken kid with a phone in your hand. I watched it happen at a theater yesterday. Oh, hey, Mommy, we got movie night. And they're sitting a couple things down, and she just pulls her phone out the whole time when there's a minute. I was like, man, I was thinking to myself, why didn't you just sit between the two of them? You have a kid on each arm. You have create a precious mother-daughter night memory, and I was thinking of that to myself. And it saddened me. They're going to have problems here. That's where the tributaries meet in this town. This river here is going to have problems. Van Dyke. Van Dyke is deek is cricky. Blah! Van Dyke is dicking you. Here you go. A Noogies River is going to give you some noogies. Yeah, the noogie's going to get wide. That's coming somewhere. Does it take the turn? Is this highway's going to be in bad shape? What is it? Hey, watch yourself here. Yeah, watch yourselves around here. This is it's going to be a wicked junction. This road is going to be something that you need to know about in advance before you travel. Do your homework, okay? Over the next 3 days, that road's going to have problems. Big problems. And again, that's a big north-south corridor. If we take out the north-south corridors, I'll tell you what, if I was going to invade a country secretly, I would take out all their... In war, first thing you do, you take out their supply lines, right? These are supply lines. They took them out. Take out their railroads, boom. Take out their ability to fly, boom. And before you go in, you master the air. But you do it in a secret, in a covert way. And this looks like an attack on Australia for an entire year. It's took out the infrastructure part, where you'll be wanting to go and do the things you planned, and you won't be able to get there. There's no roads. So can you walk? Are you starting to take walks? What if they marched you to a stacking park, and they say anybody that fell down and couldn't walk is useless? Can you walk a mile? Can you walk this 15 minutes? Maybe might do a test one day. There's so much stupid went on last year. People banging pots and pans, happy about being locked in their going to your room for doing no wrong. Nah. Asymptomatic means no symptoms. It means healthy. You would go say, am I healthy, doctor? He says, yes, you are asymptomatic. You have no symptoms of nothing. You are a hypochondriac, is what we used to call that. You have conjured up an injury in your head. And you're walking around scared. And I don't want you to be scared. It makes you sick. You're going to have some problems in this town. There's a lot of water coming your way. Oh, get the fuck out. If you're along this fucking highway, get the fuck out. Robert has just told you to get the fuck out. Hughenden, get the fuck out. Richmond, get the fuck out. I don't know about Torrance Creek. I don't really see. Where does the water going to run? Where does it get its relief? It goes into a floodplain. Oh my, this area here. I was worried about this when they turned that fucking river down on you guys. Yeah, there's a fucking lot of water there. There's over 10 inches of water. They're giving you the big 10-inch right up the old wazoo. 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for? Clean air, clean water, free choices for families to pass on family traditions and values. And I'm sorry, debauchery is not a value taught to me or my father or his father. And I'm the second son of a second son of a second son. And I'll be the last of them, because I only had one. There's a straight line of serious flooding called for very heavy torrentials right along this line. Long reach. Jesus Christ. I ain't gonna make the call on that road yet. I definitely made the call here. This is to get the fuck out, son. If you're over here, get the fuck out. They're gonna cut off the roads in front and behind you. Where you gonna go? Unless you're prepared to ride it out, stay the fuck home. Right? If you're prepared for this, relax, stay home. Enjoy each other's company. When the power goes out, you're gonna get to see some starry nights if it ever clears. Clone Curry, man, you got a lot running your way too. It's gonna be a very, very bad event for Queensland. But I told you it was time to get in your arcs. Now move your arc. And don't do what Moses did. I mean, what Noah did. People banging on his site. Let him in. They'll learn. Talk to them about oneness when they get in. Oneness helped me to make this boat to help you. It told me to let animals in. So I will let 2 of you in. Now, I thought it was bad. Nah, he was a big, you bullied me, fuck you, go away. I get enough of people. Nah, that's it. This boat's going to take me somewhere else. You guys figure it out. Shit floats, so you guys ought to be okay. Yeah, if this ever flowed down here, right, they don't worry about it. The shit floats. The politicians, the whole building probably float. They're going to take off one day like a spaceship and leave you behind to deal with their fucking mess. Or shouldn't they fly to Hawaii and do a hookah, eat some fishy poi, while you're dealing and cleaning up a big mess that geoengineering is allowed to happen to Australia, that is allowed to happen to New Zealand, that is allowed to happen to my entire planet. What a fucking shame. Ain't much to see down here, I'm telling you. It was very quiet over Tassie today. You had a couple bombs go off and come up across this way to the country that's for sale. It's already been sold. Yeah, and the USA's going to sell our Australian bonds to China. He took care of the debt. Now, the bonds, I believe, they got sold to by Obama. He sold your debt. And then Trump nurtured the relationship with other countries, right? Because the Chinese internet protocols, he didn't like the deal. The USA was paying too much. But you're getting those protocols on the internet. You ain't going to have a choice. You think you could scream and holler and carry on about it, but at the end of the day, can you make a signal come through that line once it stops? No, so we got to go after the policies well in advance. And if voting the rascals out is ever possible, do it. Do it well. I'll give you a weather report so you know what to do on voting day. Yeah. I suggest you put a big frying pan on your backside, because I have a feeling something's going in. Yeah, the ballots themselves come right out the shitter. And everybody always bitches the count was wrong. I don't like computers counting the votes. Well, used to people supposed to sit down and look. Is this your mark here? Yeah, thank you. You think the computer don't know which button you push that it could come to your house and target your political view? You're out of your mind. I think there's no anonymity in voting anymore. And that took away my ability to have quiet democracy. But yet they'll blackball you. What a shame. As I'm looking at these terribly toxic Chembombs deployments going out and up and over Queensland, which is fueling a biblical flood. This is one here is going to race through that town. You'll be the next Fitzroy crossing. And they'll have some more water coming to the Fitzroy River as well here, probably about 3-4 days from now. I'll be keeping an eye. I told you this, because this moisture here will be turned later. It's going to hit a wall of EMF here. I don't see where it can go. I don't see where it can go. It'll go out here and pause, and then everything that runs into it, like a train. If this was moving along and I put a wall, all these cars are going to bunch up. Well, then it'll just bunch up. And if it bunches up too much, it starts to turn. And the winds itself will start turning in either one direction or another, depending on what the winds are doing, right? As these Chembombs descend and put the seasonings in the air, I call it the food, as they feed the coming of a storm to keep it, to sustain and develop it into whatever the weather plan has decided. And it looks like the weather's plan has decided to take your house. They've decided to come for your house. And it's imminent. really upset as I see this. You know that, don't you? And all through the times, you ain't out of the woods up here. I told you, you have a second batch coming, right? Do you see that number? Have you been warned? Have you been warned that over the next 5 days you're going to get 10 centimeters, maybe 8 to 10, but then over the next 5 days after that, you're going to get over half a meter. I think you should be warned about that, so consider this a warning. This is your second one. I gave a verbal yesterday. I told you that off the coast, if they bunch this up, there's going to be a lot of water sitting, right? They've already dumped that. That goes out to sea, hits a wall. You're one EMF blast away from I could turn that into a cyclone in a minute. I could get it to turn here, send the moisture here, cause an eddy, flowing down this way real fast. Phew, that thing will spin right over the Coral Sea. I can hit an EMF blast and drive it straight ashore. But with all the way the EMF and the high pressure set up, the likelihood of any major event from here making it south can only come through the inside of the country. So that's kind of good news for this area here, who I'm very, very, very relieved at to see going to black. Yeah. But that's also drying you out. And so the area that's been flooded that suddenly dries out, I see, is getting targeted for another disaster. Earth, air, fire, and water. Well, you've seen the water. You've before seen the fire. You haven't seen the earth yet. Or maybe that's the chemicals on top of you is the earth. Using the elementals to kill you. Up jumped the devil. You see what I'm showing you here? And that number's going to change depending. The sock is currently pointed this direction. I can't tell yet where they're aiming it, but if this comes up and around here, oh my God. You poor folks along here. This is to get the fuck out, son. Yeah. The stat has changed. Did you notice that? That's okay. Get the fuck out. This is imminent disaster. So you have time. You have time to calmly react and get your stuff to higher ground. And if you're in a non-dangerous place, go help your stores in your town. Make sure you get the vestments, your basics, right? And this is right on the railroad crossing. Of course. Well, it's logical to build highways along railroad lines because they're usually level. Hello, Lake Fred. You're going to get a bit bigger. I just fucking looked at this town before. This is the second time I've looked at this town. It's never good. Oneness makes me zoom in on a town. It's never good. Get your vestments of your church. Make sure they're in the air. If your buildings have already been stressed out from a flood from the past, you might want to find a different place to stay because it'll have weakened the foundations. They can only take so much creaking back and forth before they'll go off their things. So check your screws under your house, under your of your piers. Make sure everything looks in order. Okay? Because you're about to get a flood through this entire area. Oh my God. Saggy rock over here, clear view. Is it clear to you yet that geoengineering can not only kill and deprive livelihoods of you and animals, but that it's making a lot of people money and not you? And it's being done by private interests, Bill Gates, the Couch Group. Harvard University in America seems to be doing a lot of the suggestions and the funding of this, which makes me think maybe they have dinners together somewhere. When it's all coming from one place, somebody in a dinner thinks it's a good idea, and when you're one of the richest men in the world having dinner with one of the richest men in the world that's having dinner with one of the richest men in the world, you could damn sure come up with a conspiracy to control the money flow towards yourselves. And with that said, and with that done, be safe, people. This is just an ungodliness going on. An ungodliness. Even down here, your totals on the fives shouldn't be too high. That's up in the mountains. You'd be expecting some rain. So between here and here, you get that. Some say you get that. It's just they're going to get some rains across the center. And this is a weird move to see. But it's this geoengineering, and they plan to go on in places we don't hear, where the minutes aren't taken and disclosed. You're not allowed in here, sir. No, you're a member of the press. You can't come record what's being done to you, sir. You're not allowed in here. Sign says you got to have a membership card to get inside. Yeah!